Let's start with Nessa, upward of 28 million views in total on YouTube.
That's crazy.
Spotify is close to 6 million streams. Approximately 75 to 80,000 streams per month on iTunes. Very impressive.
Thank you.
And welcome. Miss Denyse Plummer. I mean, I've grown up with you. I've known, I've seen you transition performance after performance. One of the things that I remember about you is that, remind me of Tina Turner, the time where the hair was different every
all the
show.
spiky hair.
Yeah, all the costumes were different. Presentation was always very important, and we'll get to that. So, comes the Queen 10 times.
Wow.
Cubs of Monarch 2001, Young King title, National Award Hummingbird Gold 2011, two-time Lifetime Achievement Award.
Old boy.
And I'm sure many others.
It's like 100 years ago.
Also great tunes like Woman is Boss and Not Leaving, etc. And then, your transition into a different life completely and being also author of your autobiography, The Crossover. So congratulations on all that and welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So whatever I didn't cover, please, give us a little bit more introduction of what we might not know about yourself.
Well, that's more than enough. I mean, you reading it out there, it even sounds impressive to me because, as I went along the years, remember I had a lot of adversity to deal with as well. So it never really dawned on me all these things, these great things happened to me. And even sometimes when I look at all my accolades and my trophies and plaques and so on, I sit down and I look at them and say, what the France did I do to deserve all these things? So it amazes me as well. And I put it down to me being very blessed. I came in at the right time. I always tell people I came out at the right time, and in between I was so blessed. So many opportunities came my way. I was just discussing with this beautiful young lady here that my heart goes out to her and people like Iowa George, that they have just attained their big rewards that they were working so hard for so many years. And as it came and they received it, the world shut down. And they were deprived of that wonderful blessing that I was not deprived of, going out every year and representing your country. And that's where they go and they make the big money. The big money is made outside, not inside. And, my heart goes out to them, but I know nothing lasts forever.
Yeah,
That's
Wow.
true.
But I have been truly blessed in my career. I really have been.
And I feel so blessed to be sitting here with this woman because when I was talking to her off stage, I was like, it's an honor to meet you because this is an icon.
Yeah,
That's true.
And these are moments that I will always treasure in my career, like meeting people like you.
Thank you. Oh, God.
So tell us a little bit about you and your journey so far.
I mean, my journey, it's a crazy one. Everybody know, the crazy sides and Nessa Preppy. Everybody know, the fun side, the wild side, the music videos. But right now I'm working towards putting out my album, and that is like something that this year especially is needed because we have to give back to the fans one way or the other. We can't, even though the world is shut down, you as an artist can't really shut down right now. You have to keep going and giving the people and motivating. So just working on my album for now, just putting my best foot forward with that and trying to be an artist that gives bodies of work instead of just the one song. So it's just really about that right now.
Wow, that is that. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Firstly, because we don't hear a lot of local artists producing an album in today's world. Even before COVID, nobody was doing that. Everybody's doing their one-off.
Well, there were some. I can't say, I'm the first. There are many artists who have put out their albums. I know some of them working on their albums right now. I just like that it's now becoming, it's starting to become a trend now, because everybody, when you talk to them now, they're working on an album. I just hope that everybody successfully releases their album, because some people working on this album for 2 years. So,
And what a lot of people don't realize is they see you putting out one song. It is very expensive to do an album. And a lot of these artists don't have $6,000 a song, and an album is 10 songs. You're talking $60,000 before they could even get it out there and promote it. So that's why I speak to a lot of corporate companies and people who can afford, even artists who have made so much money that they can now give back. I'm not going to call any names, but they could help the younger artists by paying for their music to come out. Give them an album, one album, and not a one song, because it is very expensive, even for seasoned artists like me. You have to know where that $6,000 coming from.
Definitely.
So do you think this new resurgence of album development is a response to what is currently going on in the COVID situation?
Partially, yes. Some people doing it because now, they have downtime and they could actually get in studio and do work. But I think it's always in every artist that I speak to, I think it's always in their heart. Their intention is always to do an album or a mix or something, a little compilation of songs. It may not be like the 10 and the 12 songs that an album usually take, but some people would do the little 5 songs and call it like, an EP or something. Things like that. So I just think, it don't necessarily have to be like a full album, but always try to give enough. Some people, they release a song and then that's just it, And the thing is, when you release your song too, you have to market yourself and your song, because you could just release people think, you just release a song and that's it. There's a lot of marketing that go behind that.
And then the videos go along with the songs, and that costs a lot of money as well.
So, and I know in her times and in my times is the same thing. It's like, same thing. These things cost the artists. These things take a toll on the artists too. So, if we had things in place here locally that could help artists, like labels and more things of that nature, I think that would really put the music on a world level, because we just get a little play outside, you just see the little, the Trinity artists getting the little play in little international spots, but it don't ever be like benchmarked, like, yes,
be there.
We still need to bring soca music to real parts of the world that haven't heard it yet, so,
Yeah, for sure.
So, talking about marketing, personal brand. As I said before, I've always respected you, Denise, for your personal brand. You was able to maintain that over a long period of time. And I think now, seeing it today, I think it's still there. I think it's still there. What do you guys think about that? And
well, it's called longevity. What you should be going after is longevity, not fast food service thing. 1 year you have a hit, the next year you're in a mess. You hear about you for 10 years and then you come back now with another hit. Artists supposed to focus on their work, as she say, a body of work that has longevity, that can go into any forum at any given time of the year. And, we need to market it, definitely. And now they have an advantage that we never had. They have this thing called internet.
Social media.
And YouTube and Messenger and Twitter and all these things. To market for them now should be a lot easier than for us. We really had to beat the pavement.
And that's why I think the young artists need to show respect, because the people that came before us is the pioneers. They really set the groundwork for us. Now we have it easy. We could just post up something. They actually had to go meet with people and do that work. So
beg for
you need to have respect for the elders in the business. You need to have respect.
But that brings a different kind of challenge, though, because when I talk about branding and personal branding, how do you present yourself? And it's easy to take a selfie for the young ones.
Yes.
It's easy.
Or we used to have to pay professional photographers big money to just get a picture to promote yourself. Yeah.
But I
And
think
now
when I'm
y'all can
getting
just take selfies and the quality is so good. The video, your phone has a real powerful video camera on it. You can make your own videos and churn it out. Everybody has a recording studio now in their bedroom. Wrong? All right.
Nah, yeah, for sure.
You understand? We
Yeah.
had to go to major recording studios and it tape big, so you're going flap, and take 100 takes before you get the perfect tape.
Yep.
So, we took a lot of licks coming along, and these young people today have to appreciate how easy life is for them now and stop grumbling and complaining. Get into the work. Get the artwork done. Get people who know what they're doing to give you advice. Another thing is young people then don't want to get no advice from anybody. From the time you tell them what to do, you can't tell me what to do, who you feel you is, and this kind of thing. Up to today, I sit down and I listen to artists and I listen and I watch to see where their charisma is, where is that magic that they have. Let me tell you something. A man called David Rudder, he hardly talks. If you see him off stage, he talks to nobody. Sit in a dark corner there. When there's time come to go on that stage, he lights up like a flambeau. And he walks onto that stage and he opens his two arms for all his charisma comes out. And he has that audience in the palm of his hands.
Wow.
And he could get them to do anything. That is his brand. My brand is I'm mad, I dress up in costume and I fly out there like a mad woman and let you have it. Hello. It's time to have fun. Or listen to what I'm saying. I put my finger in your face so you can't move your eyes off of me. I work a stage. I have a brand where I am always in costume. I'm always in character selling what my country has to sell. And I'm consistent.
Experience this
I'm
time.
consistent.
great.
I'm always that way. I'm not
So
that way.
Nessa, you've recently transformed your visual presence from cutting the hair and changing. Where are you with your brand development?
I just I do what I know how to do best, which is me. I don't ever try to replicate what anybody else is doing. I just do what I feeling to do at the moment and what I feel is best for Nessa Preppy at the moment. So right now, I had the locks for 8 years. They were heavy. It was long,
I know the feeling.
Yeah, they're heavy. They get heavy. I mean, they look amazing, but it takes a toll on the neck. And as a woman too, I just felt as though it's been a look that I've had and I've done it so well. People loved it, and that was for an era. Yeah. And now, I'm going into a different style of music. I'm going into a whole different vibe, a whole different presence. And I just felt like that was more the kid version of Nessa Preppy, nice. the more playful child version. And now I'm trying to be a little more serious. I mean, pink hair, I can't really take it serious, but I had to do something to keep it still fresh, to keep it still.
But you have such a pretty face. I think any hair will go well on you. True, you could just tie it up in cloth and all and you will look good. I come out to wine, boy, I come here to wine. Who's the boss?
The boss. All right, great. So, we were just talking about your presentation and stuff like that. While I personally don't like to, you're a woman and you're in the industry and you shouldn't be treated any differently. What are your thoughts being a woman in the industry right now?
Being a woman in the industry is always a challenge, I would say. And it's little things like, for instance, that same thing we were just talking about, image. The guys have it so easy when it comes to image because they could, if they have 10 shows, they could go to all 10 shows with the same pants and just change a shirt, and people, but a woman now, if she have 10 shows, you don't counting that as 5 outfits because you might do like, me personally, I'll do a maximum of 2 shows in the same outfit because I like to dress and whatnot. So it's be like little things. So they could do 10 shows in a jeans and just change it. We can't do that now. If you do 10 shows in the same outfit, everybody can be like, she was in that same outfit since whatever hour. And, it's like little petty things. So little things like that become challenges, keeping up the image. And next thing is what you say, what you do, because we're living in a time now where yes, women, we still could speak a little more freely on certain things, certain topics now, but you still get that side eye from people now if you say certain things or if you act a certain way. So I think it's just a behavioral thing. We have to watch how we behave sometimes because people will say what they want to say. And the next thing, I was watching a live recently and I saw, when the guys came on stage, everybody saying good things. But as the one female comes on stage, they're talking about her outfit, they're talking about her hair. Right. They're not even studying the words coming out this person's mouth and what they're singing and how beautifully they're singing or whatnot. They're studying what she wearing, how she looking, why she looking so, she can't whine. It's like stupid things now. And I think people need to give women a little ease up with certain little things is concerned because, we just have it to deal with now. We just have it to deal with. I think that is a thing that I don't know when it will change, but it's a thing that is constant with women being scrutinized in the media and thing. Yeah.
What do you think, Denise?
I think that the women's biggest enemy is each other.
That too.
Women have a problem with supporting other women, especially if they're pretty, if they're sexy, if they could sing better than them, if they're more popular than them. And it should not be so. We women supposed to uplift each other, carry each other, support each other. And I came from an era where before me there were just 4 or 5 women in Calypso. It was Rose and Francine and Princess and one other person. And they fought. Those men, everything was men. They were in a place they were not supposed to be where society is concerned. They were talked down. Nobody wanted to be their daughters to be their friends because they were in the Calypso business. It was considered slutty and low class and blah, 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 blah. And they stood stuck in there and fought for what we have here today. They fought for a woman to win $1 million in Soca Monarch. They fought for all the Calypso Queen crowns I have, the 10 Calypso Queen crowns. It was those 4 women that supported each other and stuck together to give us what we have today, the kind of prize money we have today, the kind of respect that little children look up to us as prophets and believe every word we say and come to, want to touch us and all this sort of thing. That's where it came from. We need to know the history. They fought that battle for us, and then we came along now. When I came along, there were about 250 women in Calypso. When I first came in, there were just about 12 or 15. And within 5 years after that, there were 250 women in Calypso. And whereas the men did not support the women in the early days, the male Calypsonians in my time started supporting us, encouraging us, training us. Black Stallion trained me. Super Blue trained somebody else. Aloes trained somebody. You understand? And they started saying, go sister, we have your back, we will support you all. And then we started winning competitions. But it was never heard of before. Soca Monarch and Calypso Monarch. Women are winning those things. Road March.
But you had an extra challenge. I mean, you didn't fit at the time. You didn't fit the image of what us female soca artists were supposed to be.
I had it good and proper. I had all that to deal with, plus the color of my skin. So I just believe that what I went through was for a purpose. It was to open that door so that anybody could go on that stage and sing their culture, which is Calypso.
Right.
Syrian, Indian, black, green, blue, Chinese, all came in after I took that licks of this little white girl
it was real
coming
licks
to
too, because
interfere with the people culture and want to sing Calypso, and we go Spongy, we go Peltry.
Because there was the issue of the Skinner Park.
The Skinner Park incident, which
Can you
everybody
explain?
knows.
Because, I mean, not everybody. I'm sure the youngsters are among
I
us.
don't know.
You don't know about this kind of part? God, half your life gone.
I don't
No,
know what
seriously.
Quick synopsis.
Anyway, so Len Booksy Shop, who owns a pan side for the foreigners looking at this show, a pan side is 100 national players that play the steel pan as an orchestra. And we have many of those such orchestras. And the leader of one of the biggest orchestras came to me as a nightclub singer, singing ballads and, pop music, and asked me to vocalize their song for the carnival season coming, which is a calypso. So I say, well, why not? If 100 pan players who are black could agree with the leader who is black, to come to this little white girl to say, Denise, come and vocalize our song for us. I was thrilled. I was honored. So I said, no problem. So the first time I was going to sing calypso, and this is for competition for the foreigners listening. All these orchestras compete against each other. So I did Len Boogsy Star, Len Boogsy Sharp, and Phase 2 Pan Groove song for that year. And they had to get me in a tent now so people could hear me sing every night. A tent is where they had all the calypsonians singing nightly for 2 or 3 weeks before the actual carnival celebrations. And nobody wanted to take me into their tent because I'm white. My mother is black, my father is white. I happen to look like my mother. I don't understand what these people talking about. And that was, you see, no other calypsonians looked that way. First of all, female and Caucasian, as they like to put it. And I didn't know about this, so I gone all excited, record my song, getting ready, and then I singing in the tent. Oh, nobody wanted to take me. So Super Blue, he was Blue Boy at the time. He had his own tent, and he said, send her by me. I go deal with it. And I went by his tent, and lo and behold, I got into the semi-final competition. That is 20 being chosen out of 150. First year, all excited. I go in Skinner Park. Skinner Park is open air, 15,000 people. Whole day competition, live on national television. And as I went out there, I did not know what was waiting for me. Apparently, everybody else knew, but they were afraid to tell me because it will upset me.
Oh.
Wow.
When I got out there, 15,000 people live on TV were waiting with everybody with a roll of toilet paper in their hand. When they pulled out and it was in the breeze, it was just waving in the breeze. There were potties, you know the potties, darling? You're kind of young. Posy. People with posies in the front written next. People with placards, neatly written, printed placards reading, Plummer, go back to South Africa. Denise Plummer, stay home and fix toilet. And that is what I faced when I flew out to sing that song. My music had already started, a sea of toilet paper. And then people started, I had 2 songs to finish. As he heard, but wait, 2 songs. And missiles coming at me on that stage. And I just pretending nothing is happening. And I just saying to myself, Lord, what is going on here? What have I done to deserve this? And I'm smiling. I pick up every missile. I pull the toilet paper. I make choreography. I finish my first song, gone into my second song. Beer bottles started coming an inch from my eyebrow. They have oranges, they cut in half. They buy from the vendors to suck. When they finish sucking it, they dig it in the gravel, in the dirt, on the ground, and put out one hit my mama backed out.
Oh my goodness.
I sang the whole of the second song with gravel in my mouth. And lo and behold, I finished my 2 songs, and it was a horrible experience. And I was defiant because I wasn't doing anything wrong, and they can't tell me I can sing my calypso. And well, the rest is history. But I remember a black man coming into the dressing room after I came off that stage in a mess by the time I reached the dressing room. I didn't know what the France is happening in the last 15 minutes of my life. And they had to clean up the stage for 10 minutes before the next artist could come on. Police came on stage, all kind of nonsense. Anyway, I'm in this dressing room, and everybody's saying, right, girl, don't worry. And all my family and my friends, and then consoling me, and I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to catch my breath. This black man comes into the dressing room. I don't know who he is. Remember, I now start in calypso. I like you. I now start. I don't know everybody yet. And he comes up to me. He said, Miss Plummer. And I'm watching him. I say, yes. He say, if you was born in Jamaica, what your music would be? I say, reggae. He said, where you born? I say, Trinidad and Tobago. He said, so what is your music? I say, calypso. He said, so I just come to tell you, don't leave. Stay in it. Don't come out of it. Don't let nobody tell you can't sing. What is yours, it belongs to you. And with that, he walk out. And hear me. Who is that? Who is that? They say, you mean who's that? That's the black man himself. That's Black Stallion. That's Black Stallion, girl. He's the biggest thing in Calypso. And I will close this show with where Black Stallion came into my life at the end. But
Okay.
that was a terrible thing I had to go through. So after that, everybody came in and they sing. And you ain't going to travel.
Wow.
That's
That's a
that's
hell of
a
a
story.
story.
That's
Denise
a
never
story.
cried until I reached home. I refused to give them that.
But we know how that ended because you went and showed them
I
who
went
was
back
boss
in. I was back in the
afterwards.
next year again.
Yeah,
They said,
man.
no, man, she come back
Yeah, she
again.
went back and she did great.
Oh, that's
Yes.
For
resilient.
those who don't know.
And all those who did that to me loved me from the next year. You know, from the next year, I got the Calypso Queen title 5 times, 5 years in a row. And, you know, the love and the support from those same people were there right through my career.
Great.
Prove them wrong, for sure.
Thank you.
Well, thank God you will never have to go through that, my darling.
Is a snack pack. Is a scene. Every carnival. And it's that.
Well, that was a hell of a story. How do you feel about that?
Well, it was emotional for sure. That's not something that I ever thought that somebody would experience. Like hearing from it from you, and then hearing stories from like other people. But the person who was experiencing it, from your point of view, is like real traumatic, like scarring. You know what I mean? And I think that is a lesson that the younger artists, you know, as you were saying, should learn. As in, you know, there are people who are fighting these battles for you to make it better and easier for you now. So like just appreciate, and to, you know, piggyback on what Nessa say is like, you know, pay homage and, you know, respect the elders on that point of view. So I find that was amazing.
Yeah.
Great. What do you think?
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I have so much respect for this woman, for even a lot of people would not be able to share something like that. You know, they wouldn't say what happened. They would say, oh, no, that's not true. She actually spoke the truth and said what happened and let, because a lot of people wouldn't know the story. So I was one of them. So to hear something that an artist went through something like that in the history of the culture, you know, it's heartbreaking, but it just goes to show that you don't give up on what you
No,
love, and
you
you
don't
don't
give
give
up,
up on
no.
your dreams, and you just stay resilient, keep going, keep pushing, and you win over the hearts of the same people that was hating on you, which does always happen for some reason. I don't know why, but
What do you think you would do in a situation like that?
I would have bawled down the place. I would have been bawling down. I would not even sing a note. I would have just look to the side, watch my manager and whoever, and be like, and just walk. I couldn't do it, and that's why I have so much respect now, knowing like these stories. And I had respect all the time, but doing hearing this come out, the story, just hearing it here now in person, you had that respect for the elders, man. Because when you hear sometimes the kind of things that they went through to put this music in place for us, the younger ones, is a lot. And boy, I would not deal. She deal with it so gracefully. I would have been bawling. I might have been cussing them people on the mic. It would have been a whole crazy.
Well, it is about you
So
know, it's
Grace, I give her total points for having that grace alone to stay there and perform. Because I can't do. I wouldn't.
Oh, thank
I wouldn't survive.
And so I think that's a good example of the difference in eras. You know, it's that that bygone era was completely different with a whole different set of challenges. And I personally believe that young people, if they knew more about this, you know, they would understand what has been laid for them and understand what it means and what responsibility they take on now in terms of being an artist and representing our art form, representing our country, our culture, etc. You know, but let's talk about now. What is on the plate now, you know, in terms of what is on the playing field for artists, and how artists like yourself taking advantage of the opportunities that you have.
By doing work, putting out videos, content, anything, because this is social media is the playground that we have now. So
Right.
I direct a lot of my work. Most of it is for social media. Most of it is for YouTube and that market. So I think it's just about putting out your work, continuing to do your work, always, you know, just being into it and showing that passion, showing that love, that drive. I mean, you have to show the consistency, because a lot of artists, they as she said earlier, you know, they release a one song, then they come back after, and we had to break that. That is a bad habit that we have in the culture, where we like to take these huge breaks and then come back. I think just stay consistent, always be into what you're doing, show the passion, show the drive, show the love, and be creative.
Yeah,
That
man.
had a lot to do with I think, making music for the carnival season. You're not really doing that.
I never really was. I was always one to release a song in between the seasons. Probably not many, but it would always have one in between the seasons for me. Probably like a more dancehall kind of vibe, to go with what plays during the year. But I think really and truly it's just about just doing the music and keeping your mind there, on the music.
Anthony.
Something I had said before, I was just trying to remember something I had just mentioned to me.
May I ask about structuring music for a particular time?
We need to break that habit, really and truly. And even if it's soca, you could sing soca during the year too. It doesn't necessarily have to be for just carnival time.
Right.
Because it's just about what topics. You're not gonna sing about mass and road in summertime, but you could do a nice groovy soca that is for a fete, a party vibe, or is for our next. Look, the backyard song, the Farmer Nappy. I love that song because that's what's going on now. People trying to keep their little limes in the backyard
Yeah,
because
little
we can't go out and fete. So I like the way that the artists adapting this season. I like the topics. I like that they're being a little creative and we doing different things. I and all have a song coming as well, a soca that's supposed to drop soon, and I had to figure out a way. Okay, how I could sing a song for the girls to wine and to get on bad, but it have no road, it have no fete. You had to figure out ways of how to sing it.
Denise, from your time in terms of your music, I don't think from as an observer that your music was really made for carnival. I think you sang music that could have been played throughout the year. What is different back then to now?
Well, I focused on women's issues. I focused on nation building songs because I loved my country so much, and there's so much beauty within Trinidad and Tobago that we take for granted, number one, and a lot of us don't even see it. And that people outside look at it as such a gift for us, I mean, you just go to Maracas Bay or go to Tobago and you look at that and that's yours. You go jump back on the plane and you're gone home. People in Europe will kill and die and save their whole life to come down just to experience that for 2 weeks, and they're going to paradise before they die. You understand?
Vacation.
It's a different concept how the world sees us and how we see our own selves. We never good enough. We always want to copy somebody else and do it somebody else's way. So I used to focus on nation building songs, hence Now Leaving. And then earlier on before that I had Together Right Here, African Together. Right here, Indian together, right here. The beauty of our people and our nation. And then I focused on women's songs like Woman is Boss. Woman could do anything. You could be a pilot, you could be a mechanic, you could be a doctor, you can be anything you want to be. You don't have to be labeled as somebody that stays home and wash wares and take care of children. You can do that and have a career. So this is where Woman is Boss exploded into the minds of the women. Plenty women get in trouble for that. So. Anyway, so but a lot of it played at carnival time. It wasn't meant for carnival, but ended up playing at carnival time.
I don't know. I mean, for me, I think personally, we would be heading in the right direction if the music got back to that place of making music that was not attached to an idea, not attached
to carnival,
but just do the thing. I mean, the fact Lord Kitchener,
but that I was thinking, like, for instance, a lot of, like, for instance, I know Nyla, right, personally, and she was indie. She's
definitely heading in that direction.
But before she sang soca, so she used to sing that kind of music, but that kind of music is not going to get you on radio. It's not gonna get you in the limelight. It's not gonna get you.
Yeah,
in
but now
party.
she has broken through and she has a name for herself. You
Now
know
she
she
could
could
go
come
back.
and sing anything she
Yeah,
wants
now
and
she
it
could
would
go
play.
back because she sing the
There you
soca,
go.
and she sing the soca any time where soca is needed to be sung. So she blew up there. Now she have the time
Exactly.
to go back to her true roots. But for instance, like there's two things. So like if you don't sing soca, you're not gonna get noticed unless the new era now, which is like disaster time and the Trinidad, like they do their own thing. They don't care about radio time,
Right.
and they don't care about radio plays. They don't care about who watching them. So it's just like the reggae back in the days. So
Right.
it's the same kind of thing. But if you're not accepted in soca, in Trinidad
That's
for
where
some
you
reason,
open your door. You open
Yeah.
your door in soca.
Right.
Soca was what I did best.
So
I mean, if you hear
that's
me sing a
another
Celine
challenge.
Dion song or Whitney Houston song, you'll want to know what the France are doing in soca. But there was no money to be made there. There was no appreciation of that. So I had to go through that door. And when that door opened, I was able to sing anything. And you can do the same thing like during the year when you're not making songs for carnival. Sing anything, sing other songs that you are good at. Make sure there's a message there that has longevity, that 20 years from now, young girls could listen to that song and get encouragement from. You can do both.
So are you saying that radio is sort of a gatekeeper and part of the reason the music is not moving forward because artist has to then
Not
make sure and
just-
Not,
fit within that
not
space?
anymore.
No,
Not
anymore.
anymore.
No?
And I could speak from experience because I had Tingo, which was my breakout song 2 years ago, and it was not playing on radio. When that song reached 2 million views on the video on YouTube, then radio
All of a
began
sudden they
playing.
start playing it.
So
Exactly.
I could tell you it doesn't, and this was, I remember international people messaging me, looking to book me for the after the season and all that time. So I was like, but what's going on? Like, like people from outside, they're loving this song because of YouTube. And locally right here, it was not playing until 2 million views on YouTube, and then it began to play on radio. Like circulate and
So
everything.
YouTube and videos are vital.
What I realized is recently is starting our business and getting back into music and that kind of thing, and I stay abreast of everybody as much as I can. I follow everybody I can, to know what's going on. And the thing is very, very, immediate. So Nessa can post something today and I will get it today, and that's the power of the
That's the
digital
next
space.
thing. Everything is instant now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it happens, you get it.
Yeah.
And I've seen now hanging out with Ezra's friends and what they listen to and that kind of stuff. You realize there's a whole music industry. It's kind of like underground almost
Untapped,
that is
yeah.
happening, and they're tapping into it. The youngsters are tapping into those 6 million and 4 million and 2 million. And
they
that's
have
that's
their
where
own
it's
people
coming
tapping
from.
into it, yeah.
It's not the guys who listen to the radio station every day because they're not hearing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to think about.
But it's hard when somebody struggles and they're good and they have a good song. Struggle to find that money to put out that song and get no airplay is real
That
hard.
is really hard.
If you don't know somebody and you're not belonging to some group or mafia, I call it, you ain't getting no airplay. You understand? And the same 7 people in every carnival fete, and same 3 bands, the same 7 artists over and over. I had a tourist lady ask me one day, she went to all the fetes and she said, tell me something, or how come there are only about 7 songs for the carnival? I said, oh, you mean there are only 7 songs? No, there are plenty songs. And she said, no, I went to all the parties and I heard every band played the same 7 songs and every artist came and they sang the same 7 songs.
Wow.
Come on. And that's how they're looking at it. Well, we figure we big and bad.
Wow, that's crazy.
We have to stop that nonsense. You cannot just be choosing who you want to be a star for this carnival and the others go by the wayside with good songs. No airplay.
Thanks. Good point.
Nowhere else you will see every race living in harmony.
Nessa, there's this big, debate about Zessa music and non-Zessa music in the country and in the industry. You are straddling, the boats. What do you have to say about that?
I wouldn't say that I am straddling. I am a soca artist that does dancehall songs. I'm a soca artist first and foremost. I always say that. But I'm an artist as well. So as an artist, the main word being art, I create art. So I don't consider myself really tied to that, to any genre. Like, I can't do certain kinds of song because to the people, I'm known as a soca artist. So
Right.
I don't ever limit my mind to say, okay, you can't do that because then they'll say you don't love soca because you're doing this type of music. It's not that. I just believe in creating art, creating music. So if I feel this week I want to do something a little more dancehallish, a little more thing, I would do that. And if I feel like I want to do soca music, something a little more festive, I will do that. So it's nothing about straddling fence. I believe we need to stop putting artists in box, because then when you do that now, we'll have this constant mentality every year now where we feel as though, okay, you can't do nothing except for this period of time, which is the carnival period, and this is when you have to create. No, you create when you feel like, you create what you feel like, as long as it's in good taste and as long as you know that your fans will like it and you know that it's going to have reach with some people that really mess with your stuff. I think I wouldn't say I straddle in any fence. I would say I'm more a jack of all trades.
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
So can we expect more creativity, more experimentation? different-
Definitely. More collaborations, more different songs. I like to experiment with songs, so I wouldn't stick to one type of song. Like, even if you just watch the history of what I've released thus far, it's always something different. No two songs are the same. Some might give you a similar energy.
You ever did a reggae?
No, I never did a reggae.
I feel like a reggae would be real cool.
I mean, I could try, but if I doing and this is the thing, if I doing something, I'm doing it my way.
Yeah,
I'm not
for
gonna
sure.
do a reggae and try the song like Junior Gong or somebody that does reggae. I'll do a reggae
In your way.
in
yeah.
a Nessa Preppy format. So the same
Exactly.
thing with the zestin music or the soca music. I'll do it my way.
What do you think so far? I mean, you've been reasonably successful for a short space of time. What do you think is the secret to your success?
Just being unapologetically me. I think that is the secret to anybody's success, that you just have to be you and sell you and give the people that vibe and that energy, because a lot of people they tend to feel like they need to be like someone else to make it, or they need to follow what this one doing, or mimic or pattern this one's formula. You don't do that. You have to create your own formula. You have to create your own vibe. So I think that's what works for me, just being Nessa Preppy, as I say.
Nice.
What about you, Denise?
And being talented.
Yeah.
And being good looking. And
Oh,
all the
good.
gifts that you got from God.
Yes, them
This
things
is what
important
makes us
too.
all successful.
But
Each
yeah-
one of us have a gift, and we have to use it and use it to the best of our ability.
That's right. But you had to bring your own spin on it, because I know
Yes.
a lot of beautiful girls who like music, but nobody know them because they just probably they don't have the heart or they don't have the drive that they need, and
You have
it's
to have the
it's
right
different
personality,
things.
the right
Yeah.
spirit, the right
And you have
personality.
to be
She has
able-
an amazing personality, and half your work is done when you have a great personality. The other half is just making it happen, you know,
Absolutely.
and staying humble.
Definitely.
You could be very powerful, and you could be very strong and humble at the same time.
Yes, a lot of people don't know that.
Exactly. So you have to be careful. You don't go overboard in this. Get caught up in this, and you're big in the dance now. And humility is what brings people to you, draws people to you. You know.
sure.
So she on the right track, and what we had to take a long time to learn, she will learn very quick, because there are people there to show her and tell her.
Right.
You see that? Don't go there.
How you
You go
feel about hearing that from Denise?
As I said, boy, just sitting in the woman presence, just hearing her talk, just hearing her give her testimony, as she keeps saying, is amazing experience. And one of the things we was talking about when you say what make an artist, get that vibe or get that energy, you see the fact that when she told that story and she said, she didn't let them see her cry or nothing like that, that is what separates artists and people that make big things happen from others, because somebody else would have said, what, I like how I say I would have cried.
Yeah.
Somebody else would have cried and somebody else would have say, what, I'm never doing it again and never going back again. But just that mental to say, what, I had to go back again. That is what separates people, regular people, from people who do great things.
And never be afraid to take advice as well, darling.
That
Not
too.
cutting you. Always be able to take advice. People will tell you things that they have experienced. It's up to you to throw away what you don't need and keep
Yeah.
what will make you better. Don't ever think people telling you what to do. Go to the ones who've been there, done that. Listen to their advice. And as you say, turn it into you. I am still learning things at my age. I'm still seeing new things and learning. I always listening and watching to see what I could get from somebody that I didn't know before. And whoever thought I would have been an author. I did my pastor come and tell me write a book. I say write a who, where, why, what. Who want to know about my business and what I could write?
I go in and
Autobiography.
get that book.
So I am now an author on top of all the other accolades and titles, because I wanted to tell people what I went through. I gave my testimony in a book from the day I was born to where I am right now. So the mistakes I made and the licks that I took, people read that book and they would not have to go through that. And now I am an author. I have a book in a bookstore. You can have a book in a
I go
bookstore
in
in
and
10
get you,
years
I go in
time,
and
5
get
years
your book
time.
in the bookstore.
That's good.
So never think you can't do something. You could do anything you put your mind to.
I actually agree. I think getting up and doing something. When this COVID thing happened, and I remember having many arguments with Ezra and his brother.
Jesus Christ.
When COVID started, I was
your
like,
business
I
coming
said
up.
to him, I said, listen, we cannot come out of this the same way we went in.
Exactly.
You must use it as a time where we have the time. We are forced to stay home. We are forced to
something
focus.
different.
And all the distractions are gone.
Yes.
We have the internet. We have access. We can do something. And so we had our back and
Yes.
forth since, like, why are you sitting all day doing nothing?
Do things you never
You know?
thought you would be able to do.
And
Try it.
Yeah, and so I think a big part of what I'm hearing Nessa say, and also what you saying is do something. Just don't sit there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you might be pretty, you might have the talent, you might be whatever. But if you don't get up and do it, and this is the time, I think, this is, for me, the way I look at this entire thing, there's a sort of a great equalization that's happening, where everybody's
Opportunities,
equal now.
yes,
The
yes.
big conglomerates, they're closing businesses, they're doing all that kind of thing, because they don't know how to deal with it. We are also in the same situation where we don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So we all equal. We all figuring this thing out together, and we have to go forward together, and so maybe I'm talking a bit too much about me. So tell me,
No,
what
it's
is
good.
next?
It means that what we're saying here is
Yeah,
resonating with
definitely,
everybody.
We
definitely.
listening, we listening, so you could just go ahead.
So I want to know what's next for Nessa. What's going on?
Well, as I said, the album, the visual release of the album as well.
You direct your stuff, your own videos.
No, I don't direct my own videos. My manager, Soca Banton, aka Kern Rose, he does the directing of the videos and a lot of the creative direction of what we're going to do next and things of that nature. But for me, it's just about working, trying to give as much in this time when it could only give so much and it could only go so far. Just trying to give the people as much of me as I could, especially in the downtime. Use it to my advantage to complete music, complete songs, ideas, and anything that I need to do. And, just keep trying to empower the women and move the culture forward in whatever little way I could do that. And
Right.
yeah,
Nice.
that's it.
Thanks. So you want to talk about the Black Stallion?
Oh, finish off with the Black Stallion.
Yeah.
Well, before I
We
finish
can
off,
talk about your book first.
before I
and
finish off with the Black Stallion. No, well, the book is in RIK and Nigel Can exclusively, so everybody can go and support me. And
Great.
if you
I'm
can buy a
going to
book,
get
it's called The Crossover by Denise Plummer. But I was going to say something. I'm having a senior moment. I forgot. Anyway, Black Stallions, how that story came full circle. It was amazing to me that, remember when I first started off, he came into that room and he told me, do not leave. Do not leave the culture. Stay and do what you have to do. And 18 years later, when I won the Monarch, I didn't think I was going to win the Monarch. That was the biggest shock to me in the year 2001. Remember, Shadow had the big tune.
Yeah.
Shadow was right there in the savannah, and they had aloes and all these big gun calypsonians. But on You Not Leaving did well. Throughout the season, they had people betting on me to win Monarch and all this kind of thing. Once I get in like third or fourth, I good right there. Anyway, I went up, I did this song, 2 songs, Heroes and Not Leaving. Results time come now. A trembling, I in a mess. Everybody rush side stage for in 10th position, so on. So they start from 10 and come up. It's very nerve-wracking. And I in my dressing room, I stay in the dressing room, then everybody go on my system, my manager, everybody, and in 9th position, and in 8th position, and in 7th position, and in 6th position. And all of a sudden, I see coming through the darkness somebody heading for the dressing rooms. Who, lo and behold, who it is coming looking for me. Black Stallion. This is 18 years after.
Wow.
He come at the dressing room and he see me trembling, and I said, no, D. He's coming, D. No, D. Come. Hug me up. He said, what is wrong with you? Why aren't you out there listening to the results? Come, let's go. I said, no, I'm not going. I got right here. He said, D, how long ago? 20 years ago, 18 years ago, 16 years ago. What I come in the dressing room and I told you. I look at him and I say, you told me not to leave. He's here, and what is the name of the song you're going to win the crown with here tonight? This time they reach number 3.
Wow.
Wow.
What
she
is the
raised
name of the
propose.
song?
Me too. though.
Nah, Leaving is the name of this song. And as he finished talking to him, I heard, and in 2nd position, Mighty Shadow. And I just saw a sea of people running to me in the dressing room. They picked me up, they put me on their shoulder, and they're running back to the stage with me. And I just saw Black Stallion fading smaller and smaller into the distance. You tell me, do I have a God?
You read that in your book?
Yes, all that in the book.
I want to see him. I need to get that book.
That was the most amazing thing.
I was chilling. Like, I had chills there.
I mean, you have to pay attention to these little things. So that was
So the first thing he
a
told
really
you,
important thing in my life.
the last thing, 16,
First thing he said was, don't leave.
don't leave. And you win with the song.
Not leaving.
Not leaving.
Wow.
Wow.
That was great, guys. Thank you so
This was
much.
so
Very
exciting.
inspiring. Thanks for being such nice guests.
Thanks
And
for having us.
that's it for tonight.
I learned
Right.
so much. Thank you.
And I wish you all the
Me
best,
too.
my love.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to meet you.
You're
All
going
right.
to go
And good
great
night.
places.
Thank you.